clear instructions that have shaped the entire direction of my life. When I was 11 years old, I might say 11. I don't think there's any 11-year-olds in this room. Maybe they're watching online. But when I was 11 years old, I came to Nigeria for the very first time. And I came as a guest of Pastor Victor Onigbo in Enugu, a wonderful man of God. He's gone home to be with the Lord now. But my father and I, we came to do some missionary work here. My mother was with us as well. And as I was in Enugu at 11, the Lord spoke to me very clearly, and he said, "This is your home." Now, 11 years old, you know, you can think, oh, maybe it's because she had friends, or maybe it's because she was happy, or maybe it was because they gave her food that she liked. Maybe it was the jollof rice. But it wasn't any of those things. It was a divine word from God. And as I was in the airplane going back home, I cried from Lagos all the way back to the U.S. And my mom kept saying, "Why are you crying?" I said, "No, Mom, that's my home." And so my mom got out her Bible and she wrote down the date and she wrote down what I said, and she was like, "Okay, Laurie, this is obviously I literally cried for the entire flight back to the U.S. as an 11-year-old. And so my mom took that word, and I believe that there's people who are assigned to your life the way that my mom was assigned to my life. And my mom took that word and she held it in her heart. And everything that tried to pull me off course, my mom would go back to Nigeria as her home. Any guy that I tried to date. There was this one guy that I really liked him. Like, I really, really liked him. He was a captain in the army. Actually, was he army? I'm trying to remember the military service he was in. But he was a captain. He was a pilot. He was just a really cool guy, and I really liked him. And he was in my dad's church, and I just thought, you know what, he's a cool guy. And so I really was kind of progressing in a relationship with him. And my mom decided, against my knowledge and against my will, to take him out to lunch one afternoon. And she took him out. I was in my early 20s, and I thought this was going to be it. And my mom took him out to lunch, and she said, "Listen, Laurie will never be satisfied if she marries you. Nigeria is her home." And the guy came back and broke up with me. And I thought, at that point, I was angry with my mom, right? But there was a word that was setting the trajectory of my life. And every type of relationship that I tried to get into, there was always a solid thing, that's not going to take you to Nigeria. So then when my husband finally came and said, "You know, Laurie, I think we should get married." I knew him since I was 13, but he didn't ask me until I was in my late 20s. And when he finally said, "Laurie, I think we should get married," it was unquestionable, because I knew that would take me to my home. Have you ever had a word from God? A word that shapes your decisions. When you have a word from God, it's supposed to shape your decisions. Right after high school, I didn't go right to the university because I knew what God was calling me to. And so after high school, I didn't go to the university like everybody else. I went to Bible school. And I did my full Bible school training. And then after Bible school, I now went to go live in Guatemala so I could train as a missionary. And then I came back to Archbishop Benson Idahosa. And I said, "I finished my training as a missionary." This is before I went to university. And I said, "Can I come work with you in Nigeria?" He said, "It's not your time yet." He said, "You're not supposed to come here as a missionary." And I was heartbroken, but God knew I wasn't coming as a missionary. I was coming as a wife. Missionaries come and go. Wives have roots. So I couldn't miss my calling by stepping into something. You know, are you hearing what I'm talking about? God's speaking to you in a big way. And when God speaks to you in a big way, there's a protection around your life.